So you're not looking at this as a rebuilding kind of season at all?
No, I don't think, because I don't think that does the seniors any favors. You could, but I'm one of those. I'm probably a glass half full type of guy. I like to look at what we have. There are some, and there are some incoming players who are good now. They're guards, but Philip Morrison from PRP, I recruited him when I was an assistant here. He went to Olivet Nazarene, played behind. He was a backup point guard there as a freshman. That's saying a lot. That's a good school, and that PRP team that he played for went to the state tournament and got to I think the Final Four. So that's a pretty good team. Then T.J. Shin, who was the same year as Michael Spann in high school, he was ranked in the top 10 in that Cat's Paws book. In his year, played Lafayette out of in Lexington. So he's he's very solid. Then we got a couple other recruits on the line that are pretty decent too. Not very much size in that group, but size goes early, so that's one thing I'm going to target for this next year. Size that can play.
So what kind of things do you want to see this season? I know I guess TJ was telling me that you want to see more fan support. You want to see that fan base get built up. And
yes. And I'm going to have to figure out how I want to do it. But I think there are some simple ideas. I'd like to see some theme nights go on. They're all worried about what I'm going to wear on that night, but 70s night, and it just takes little things to get big crowds. Like take for instance, the first year I was the assistant, when the first time we had cheerleaders, it was a packed house. And if there's something new or something fun going on, it may get those people who haven't been to a game and kind of spark their interest. Plus, I do think our style of play will feed into that. Now, our style of play is one thing, but we got to put the ball in the basket. And also our players' relationship with the student body is going to be big. Because let's be honest, they don't want to come cheer for people who they don't like. So we've got to repair that a little bit from what it has been. Some more things is I want to feed into the media communications program here and get some things online, get some things locally that people in Wilmore can hear about us and see us. Another thing we're going to do is we print up schedules with our pictures on it. We're going to go deliver those in Wilmore door to door. I think that would be big because you see students here at the games, and you see some faculty and things, but you don't see the Wilmore families. Just I would like to see somebody really take an interest in us and call us their team and get behind us, and that's why we're going to deliver those things door to door and meet people. So they can put a face with the Asbury program.
It's funny that the people around here in Wilmore don't go see college basketball for free in their town.
Right. It is tough. Maybe it's a little too close, but it's hopefully they'll hear about us. And we have local products that they can tie into, such as Michael Spann, Brian Johnson. I mean, these are kids. These are local products that they can be proud of, and good stand-up young men.
Those two, you're looking to kind of take the leadership role?
Yes, I think Michael is going to be, he's going to take a lot of our shots. He's going to be who I lean on a lot for leadership. But I almost think Brian Johnson is going to be the key to a lot of what we do. In our defense and our offense, he's going to he may be like the quarterback in a lot of what we do. If you remember this a few years back, this is in my time in high school, when the Pacers were making their run, when they were giving the Bulls fits when Jordan was there, they said, Reggie Miller could have a good game, or Rick Smits could have a good game, but if Jalen Rose had a good game, they won. And he was like the X factor. Well, I think Brian Johnson's our X factor. I guess if you want to put it in today's terms, I guess when they say if Rondo played well for the Celtics, they won. So I do think if Brian Johnson plays well, win. That's not to put too much pressure on Brian, but a lot of the defense stuff. He can play more than one position, which I really like. He can post. He can run the floor and finish. He can he rebounds well. He plays defense. So I like those players. If we could have 5 players like him, we'd be fine. I wouldn't worry about a post guy. I wouldn't worry, because he could play the point. He could literally play all 5 positions.
And the players that you don't know, they've taken to you pretty well. I mean, you got a chance to meet with them.
Yeah, we had them in last night. I've talked to them a lot on the phone. The sophomore, who's going to be freshman and sophomore class is, they don't know me as well. Keith Price, I've talked to him a lot. I actually recruited him before I left. He was a junior when I left, and I even recruited him a little bit for Kentucky Christian, but we didn't have any scholarship money to use for him. And it was a little farther away from home. D. Smith, I've gotten pretty close to him. I think he's going to be good. I'm trying to think. Jordan Noble came as I left. He's one I've talked to on the phone quite a bit. So I think he's going to be a big part of what we do. And I think surprises are Patrick Krause. I think it's time for him to step up and play a little bit. He's put the time and effort in. I want him to have something to show for it. And that's a leadership role that he can step up and take if he wants it.
You talk about recruiting. You were, I guess, a top recruiter when you were here as an assistant, really.
Right, yeah. That's not really something that Coach Aller, said you have to do this. Mm-hmm. I just love to do it. I love making connections with those, with the high school coaches, and I guess where I played here, I can't let the program go without players that I think were good. And he would turn me loose and let me get any type of player I wanted. Whether it be a post guy, guard, whatever, whoever I liked, I could go after. And that set the tone for my recruiting at Kentucky Christian. That set the tone, for teams that did well here. And you saw that group. The group was here last year. Brett Johnson. That group was good. Brett Johnson, Dusty Redazel, Fentress, Matt Pittman. That group was fun to recruit because they all wanted to be here so bad. And talking to them. Yeah, it's.
You recruited that class?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of course, Brett ended up here because of the span connection, and I was here for that 4 years from 2002 to 2006 as an assistant. So as soon as I graduated, I was on the coaching staff. Okay. So I went straight from player to coach. It was hard the first couple of years, but getting out and actually recruiting is very fun.
All right, anything else you want to talk about? Anything to add?
Let me think. I can't think of anything else that's worthy of mention.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. I'm enjoying it. I hate to have to go back. Of course, we're packing up, moving up, but I'm making the transition here. Kentucky Christian is very good to me. There's nothing bad about the situation, but it's just not home. They allowed me to, as a young coach, I was 26 when I got down there, and they turned me loose with it and let me do whatever I wanted. And so, for them to take a chance on a 26-year-old head coach was good, and it ultimately got me the experience I needed. And there's some things that I thought I knew when I got down there how to be a head coach that I figured out. I figured out how to coach and what worked and what didn't, how to properly use timeouts and stuff that. I was a JV coach here before I left. That you think you know when you let. I found myself too. Before I even got my thoughts together, when I first started being a head coach, I'd go straight to the locker room at halftime. Instead of getting my thoughts together, I'd just go straight to the locker. In 5 minutes, I was done. I couldn't think of anything else to talk about. I did that the first couple games, and I was like, you know what? I need to really sit down and get my thoughts together before I go in there and just let it all out. So, just a little stuff, but with them being a Christian college, as far as getting the type of student in, we were getting the same type of Christian athlete.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.